Okay, it's 2 o'clock. Welcome, everyone. I'm so glad you're here. As people continue joining us, go ahead and tell me in the chat where you're joining from. Thank you for taking time out of your day to invest in a book that has been on your heart. We'll get started in about 2 more minutes. In 2 more minutes, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and get started. My throat is parched. Pour me some water while I wait. We're going to wait 1 more minute. Okay, it's 2:02. We're going to go ahead and get started. Welcome, everyone, to Start Writing the Book You've Been Called to Write. Overcome fear, gain clarity, write with confidence. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Coach Shelly Lee, founder of Pen Paper Publish. And I want to personally welcome you to today's fireside chat. My goal is to help you overcome fear, gain clarity, and confidently start writing the book you've been called to write. Using my proven 5P method: pray, plan, pen, proof, and publish. Imagine trying to say that fast. Today, we're going to talk about something I see all the time with aspiring authors. You know there is a book in you, you believe you're supposed to write it, but when it's time to actually write, fear and uncertainty show up. You start asking, what if I'm not qualified? What if I chose the wrong topic? Or what if I start and cannot finish? And last but not least, what if nobody reads it? If any of that sounds familiar, you are in the right place. Today, I'm going to help you move from fear to clarity and from clarity to action using my proven 5P method: pray, plan, pen, proof, publish. You do not need to leave this session fearless. You need to leave knowing what to do next. That is our goal. Before we dive in, I would love to get to know you. If you are comfortable, introduce yourself in the chat, tell us your name, where you are joining from, and what kind of book you want to write. Once I complete the presentation, I can go in the chat and look and see what you have written because I can't see it in this format at the moment. So maybe you want to write a testimony book. Maybe you want to write a devotional book, a business book, a children's book, a memoir, or something else. And if you are still trying to figure it out, that's okay too. I'd like to thank you, those of you who are sharing your responses in the chat. I'm sure there's a lot of variety in this room, different people, different experiences, different messages, but one common desire: to get the book out of your head and heart and onto the page. By the end of today's fireside chat, I want you to leave with three things. One, greater clarity. You should understand how to move from a book idea to a practical starting point. Two, greater confidence. Not the kind of confidence that says, I know everything, the kind that says, I know my next step and I'm willing to take it. And three, a practical next step that you can take immediately today. I am not expecting you to leave with a finished manuscript. That would be quite a fireside chat. I do want you to lead with direction. You do not have to know the entire journey to take the next step. Moving on to the next slide. Today's journey. Today we'll cover talking about fear and why it becomes so loud when it's time to start. Then we'll look at the clarity problems that keep aspiring authors circling the same ideas instead of writing. After that, I'll walk you through my 5P method so you can see the entire author journey without trying to do the entire journey today. Then we will turn what you learned into a start writing action plan. So we will talk about our five goals are overcome fear, gain clarity, the 5P method, build writing confidence, and your start writing action plan. I want this to be practical. Inspirational is wonderful, but when the call ends, when the session ends, you need something you can actually do. Got to drink some water, y'all. All right, let's continue. My story. Hold on. My story. Before we go further, let me tell you why this work, why being an author coach, why being a published author, why all this matters to me. I am Coach Shelly Lee, founder of Pen Paper Publish, a Christian author and author coach. You can see some of my books on the screen. I have self published three of them. That last book I'm about to push out any day now, but I also have an anthology. People often assume that because I'm an author, writing must have been the hard part for me. It was not. Publishing was my hardest challenge. I had to get on Mr. Google and get on Miss YouTube to find out about the publishing route. I had to learn the difference between self publishing, traditional publishing, and vanity publishing. I prayed, researched, learned, and ultimately chose self publishing because I wanted to be in charge of my money and how my book gets put out and everything. That process taught me something important. Confusion can make a calling feel much harder than it has to be. Once I gained clarity, I could move. That experience, writing the book, researching self publishing, getting the book done, and putting it out there for the world led me to create Pen Paper Publish so that I could help aspiring authors gain the clarity, structure, and confidence they needed to move forward. I did the work for you. All you have to do is put in the time to get the book out. I didn't want you all to have to go through all the things that I went through trying to crank out a book. Sometimes the greatest challenge is not whether you can write, it's knowing where to begin. Fear is not your final answer. Let us talk about fear. Fear asks the question, what if I fail? Colin says, what if I obey? I want you to hear this clearly. You do not have to feel fearless before you begin writing. If you wait until every doubt disappears, you'll be waiting a very long time. Confidence is often built after we take action, not before. You write the sentence, then you see you can write another one. You outline one chapter, then the book begins to feel possible. Fear can come with the assignment, but fear does not get to cancel the assignment. Your first act of courage may simply be deciding I'm going to begin. I like that part. Fear can come with the assignment. It does not get to cancel the assignment. You still have to complete the assignment. What's keeping you from page one? Most aspiring authors I meet are not short on ideas. They are short on a clear starting point. Four things shake writing confidence: fear, lack of clarity, perfectionism, and overthinking. In the chat, type the number that best describes you today. If fear is holding you back, put 1. If lack of clarity is holding you back, put 2. If perfectionism is holding you back, put 3. And if overthinking is holding you back, put the number 4. I'm sure that some of you probably wanted to type all 4, and there's nothing wrong with that. That is exactly why we are having this conversation. The solution is not more pressure. I got to slow down, y'all. The solution is not more pressure. It is clarity, structure, and one next step. Uh-uh. Let's talk about confidence barrier number 1: fear. Fear usually sounds like questions. What if no one reads my book? What if I fail? What if I'm not qualified? What if people judge me? I know what it's like to have a disappointed moment make you question what you are doing. I was once a part of a virtual book tour. I had promoted this book event on social media, told all my family, friends, loved ones, and everything. I got dressed. I thought I was looking cute. I was ready for that day. I logged on. No one came to my room but one lady. She was a stranger. She wasn't even a person that I knew. And I know sometimes strangers will support you better than family, friends, or loved ones. But this lady, she was a stranger, and I didn't know her or anything like that. And she came in my room and she listened for 5 seconds. And then she had to leave because she had people that she did know who she wanted to go and support. That was not exactly the turnout I had prayed for. I was disappointed, but one disappointing day did not determine my purpose. If I had allowed that moment to make the decision for me, I would not be teaching today. So I kept writing, I kept coaching, I kept showing up. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is choosing to move forward anyway. Confidence barrier number 2: lack of clarity. People tell me, Shelly, I have writer's block. But many times after we talk, I realize they don't have writer's block at all. They have clarity block. They have 5 possible ideas. They don't know which one comes first. They do not know who the book is for. They do not know what the reader should walk away with. When those questions are unanswered, the blank page feels enormous. Clarity changes that. Once you know your message, your reader, and your purpose, writing stops being random and you have direction. Clarity creates confidence. Confidence creates action. Let's go on to confidence barrier number 3: perfectionism. Perfectionism can sound responsible. I just want to do it right. I just want it to be perfect. I don't want no judgment. I want every I crossed, every T dotted. I said that backward. I want every T crossed, every I dotted. As you can see through this PowerPoint, I have no perfectionism whatsoever. But that's okay. I'm still going. I could push stop sharing and keep it moving, but I'm still going. But if doing it right keeps you from doing it at all, perfectionism has become procrastination in a nice outfit. Your first draft is not supposed to be perfect. It is supposed to be written. You cannot edit a blank page. You cannot proofread a chapter that doesn't exist. And you cannot publish a book you never allowed yourself to draft imperfectly. The goal of the first draft is progress, not polish. Polish comes later. Let's go to number 4. The fourth barrier is overthinking. Hold on, y'all. I gotta get my papers straight. I have notes and things jotted down. Let me move it out my way so I can see better. Okay, where are we at? We should be on this one. Hold on. Okay, yeah. Overthinking makes every decision feel permanent. What if this is the wrong topic? What if I choose the wrong audience? What if I organize it wrong? I need to figure everything out first. Here's what I want you to remember: you do not need every answer before you start. You need the next right answer. A book develops as you work with it. Outlines can change, titles can change, chapters can move. Your first decision does not have to carry the weight of your entire publishing journey. You don't have to do it all in one sitting. Clarity does not mean knowing everything, it means knowing enough to move. Let's keep going. I hope I'm saying some things that are inspiring y'all, that are making sense, especially since I can't see the chat. I have to get more familiar with this platform here. Habakkuk 2 and 2 says, write the vision and make it plain. I love that instruction because it moves the vision from thought to something we can see and work with. Now let's think about the vision. You don't just think about the vision, you don't just talk about the vision, you write it. Let's say it again. Let's say that one more time slowly. Not just think about the vision, not just talk about the vision, write it. For an inspiring author, that can begin very simply. Write the purpose of your book, write who you believe it is for, write the main message, write the chapter ideas. Clarity grows when we stop trying to hold the book in our heads and begin making the vision plain on paper. That leads us directly to the framework that I use to help aspiring authors move forward. The 5P method. This is my 5P method: pray, plan, pen, proof, and publish. I will tell y'all at a later date how I got that framework. So keep following me, keep tuning into my fireside chat so you can see how this method came about. Let's continue. These 5 steps give you a clear path from the calling to the completed book. Notice what I did not say. I did not say do all 5 today. One reason aspiring authors become overwhelmed is that they are worrying about the book cover while they are still trying to decide what the book is about. They are thinking about Amazon while chapter 1 is still blank. What sense does that make? The 5P method helps you identify the stage you are in and focus on what belongs in that stage. Simple does not mean effortless. It means you know what comes next. Let's talk about each step briefly. The first step is pray. For me, writing is not a simple creative project. It is an assignment I want God involved in from beginning to end. I need wisdom. I need courage. I need favor. I need strength. I need direct and divine connections. James 1 and 5 reminds us, if any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of God. If you're unsure which story to tell, pray. If you are unsure who the book is for, pray. If fear is making you question whether you should begin, pray. But prayer is not where we hide from the action. Prayer prepares us for action. Before you write a single word, invite God into the process. Then be willing to move when direction comes. The second step is plan. And this is where clarity becomes concrete. Before you start chapter 1, answer a few important questions. Why am I writing this book? Who is this book for? What is the core message I want the reader to receive? What chapters will carry the reader from beginning to end? When will I write? You do not need a 50-page book plan. You need a usable roadmap. A simple outline can save you from sitting down every week and asking, what am I supposed to write today? A clear plan creates a clear path. And when the path is clear, confidence grows. So you need to know your book's purpose. You need to plan your book's purpose, your target audience, your chapter outline, your writing schedule, and your core message. Let's move to the next P. Pen. The third step is pen. This is where we actually write. This is where we write either in a notebook or we do notes on our phone app or we actually do it on our PC, laptop, or Mac. Nevertheless, the goal is to write. This is where I want you to release the pressure to produce a perfect chapter every time you sit down. Your job during the pen stage is just to create the draft. One sentence becomes a paragraph. A paragraph becomes a page. Pages become chapters. Chapters become a manuscript. Some writing sessions will be productive. Some will feel slow. But you know what? Both of them count. Consistency matters more than waiting for inspiration. Do not focus on writing your entire book today. Focus on writing today. And please remember, your first draft does not have to impress anybody. Its job is just to exist. That's it. Now we go to the proof stage. This is why I told you not to demand perfection from your first draft. Proof has its own place in the process. Once the manuscript exists, you can self-edit, you can work with an editor, you can proofread carefully, you can receive constructive feedback. Finish first, polish second. Editing is not about erasing your voice. Good editing strengthens your message and helps the reader understand what you meant to say. You are not failing because your manuscript needs revision. Revision is part of writing a strong book. Hold on, y'all. Got a sip. Okay, let's keep going. The fifth step is publish. This is where hold on. This is where the message leaves your computer and reaches the reader. The slide says share your message with the world. There are different publishing paths. Some authors choose self publishing because they want more control. That's what I chose when I talked about this earlier. Others pursue traditional publishing. That's where you gotta get a literary agent, and they pitch your books to different publishers, and the literary agent basically speaks on your behalf and whatnot. The right choice depends on your goals, timeline, resources, and vision for the book. The important point today is this: publishing is a stage. You do not need to solve every publishing question before you start writing. That is another way the 5P method reduces overwhelm. When you're in pray, when you are in the pray stage, pray. When you are in the plan stage, plan. When you are in the pen stage, write. Put, y'all, these P's are getting me all mixed up. Proof and publish will have their turn. A finished book cannot change lives until it's shared. I repeat, a finished book can't change lives until it's shared. This slide is a story of perseverance. One of the greatest joys of being an author coach is watching an aspiring author move from uncertainty to a finished book. One author I had the privilege of working with is Ashley Marie. Ashley Marie said, after working together, Coach Shelly helped me dig deep and produce a book while preserving my authentic voice. I did not take away her voice. If she used the word, some of us, I'm from the country, and some of us say ain't. If she wanted ain't in her book, there was nothing wrong with her having ain't in her book. So I did not take away her voice at all. That last part matters to me, preserving the author's authentic voice. My job is to not make your book sound like me. My job is to help you clarify your message, organize it, keep moving, and bring your own voice to the page. The authors who finish are not always the people who felt the most confident on day one. They are the people who kept taking the next step. We're almost done, y'all. I said from 2 to 3 o'clock. I believe in getting started and getting finished. I don't want to waste anyone's time, and I definitely wouldn't want mine to be wasted. So, in my fireside chats, I get in here, I do what I'm supposed to do, and let you go on with your day. So, let's keep going. Your message matters. Your story could encourage someone else's healing. Your experience could become someone else's hope. Your obedience could become someone else's breakthrough. You may never know every person your words will reach. You may never hear every story of impact, but the reader cannot receive a message that remains unwritten. I said, the reader cannot receive a message that remains unwritten. Your responsibility is not to control the outcome. Your responsibility is to be faithful with the message you have been given. Your decision to begin. Now, I want you to bring this down to today, not someday, today, August the 15th, 2026, 2:27 p.m. my time. Before this day ends, which statement do you want to be true? I took my first real step, or I kept waiting for confidence. I took my first real step, or I kept waiting for confidence. Ask yourself these three questions. What is the clearest message I feel called to write? Who needs this message most? What can I write before this week ends or before next week begins? You do not need to feel completely ready. Confidence often comes after movement. The decision to begin creates evidence that you can continue. The old people in church used to say, you make one step, he'll make two. But you got a first step. Your start writing action plan. So, here is your start writing action plan. This is not a quiz. This is a starting point. And I want you to do it with me right now. So, take a moment and grab something to write with. Take out a notebook, a napkin, or open up the Notes app on your phone. I am going to ask you three questions. Write down whatever comes to mind. Don't overthink it. For me, when I have questions to answer, I normally go with a first thought because that first thought, it wasn't overthought. It was just at the top of my head, and that's what I put down. So don't overthink it. Question number one, my message. What is the main message you want your books to communicate? Go ahead, write that down, or you can wait till I finish all three questions and then write your answers down. Question number two, my reader. Who is the person who most needs this book? So, with your book, or is it a how-to book? How to overcome being overweight? I guess you can say that. Being overweight. How to deal with grief. How maybe your book is to encourage someone. Maybe your book is a business book and you're trying to establish authority, so you're trying to attract your niche. Who is the person most who needs this book? And number three, my first writing step. Before this week ends, what will you do? I'm going to pause. It's 2:29. I'm going to give you till 2:31 to write your answers down. Three answers. That's it. 1 minute left. Okay, that's it. Three answers, one page. You just did more real work on your book in the last 2 minutes than most people do in a month of thinking about it. Notice what just happened. You did not need permission, a finished outline, or the perfect opening line. You needed three honest answers. That is what starting looks like. Ready to take the next step. If today helped you realize I'm ready to write, but I need help getting clear, that is exactly what my book clarity session is designed to do. This is a focused 30-minute one on one session centered on your book. By the end, the goal is for you to leave with a clear book topic, a defined target audience, and personalized next steps. We are not trying to solve your entire publishing journey in 30 minutes. We are solving the question that keeps you from moving. What do I do next? If you are ready to stop feeling overwhelmed and confidently start writing your book, I would love to help you. The link is on the screen. Save it or take a screenshot so you can come back to it after our session. So I'm going to take a drink of water while you take a screenshot or write it down or however you need to get it saved. Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now I want to hear from you. What questions? Hold on. Now I want to hear from you. What questions do you have? You can ask about getting started, writing, publishing, finding clarity, or the 5P method. And if you do not have a question, put one takeaway from today in the chat. What is the one thing you are leaving with? In advance, I thank you for your questions and for being willing to participate. As we close, I want you to remember this: fear does not get the final word. Fear does not get the final word. You have a process you can follow. Pray, plan, pen, proof, publish. You do not have to master all 5 steps today. Start where you are, get clear about the step in front of you, and take it. Your confidence does not have to come before your obedience. Sometimes confidence is what grows because you obeyed. Thank you for spending this time with me. I hope you leave encouraged, but more importantly, I hope you leave ready to act. Clarity first, then courageous action. We have one more slide, and then I'll stop sharing my screen. Before we sign off, I would love to stay connected with you. I am Coach Shelly Lee, founder of Pen Paper Publish. I help aspiring authors stop feeling overwhelmed and confidently write the book they have been called to write through clarity, accountability, and my proven 5P method. You can connect with me through the channels shown on the screen. And if you want personal help getting clear about your book, you can book a clarity session using the link at the bottom of the slide. Thank you again for being here. Now go take that first step and write something. I'm going to give you a few seconds to take a screenshot of my contact information, and then I'm going to stop sharing my screen and see if there's any questions and things like that before we end for the day. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, I don't see any questions in the chat. I don't see any comments. So we're going to move forward and go ahead and close this out. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Have a great day. Bye bye.